Oh, it's on. I just thought I should turn some lights. Ah! It didn't, I really don't do that on purpose. I know it kind of comes out as... Anyways, I am finding the light. I'll put that in a capital L too. Finding the light in terms of, you know, the internal light. Oh, why don't I ever bring earphones? I know where my earphones are. Finding the light in terms of that path with love. So I would put a capital L on that, but when I'm turning on the lights, that's finding the light with a small L. Light spelled with a small L. Where did I smack those earphones? So back those. There they are now. What about now? Thinking the left and the right around all that about. You go never with original music. No copyright problems when we do it ourselves. Hey, that makes me think. Sean, I want to hit you up for some good Seeking Truth music. You know, we're talking about like a 30-second clip, like, you know, one of those awesome riffs that I saw. Like, you're just riffing on this piano there for a while, making the guitar sounds. If I get like 15 seconds of that gold, I think that's like a little clip. And with one of your, you know, some of those images that you made for Seeking Truth, that will be my intro. And I have a buddy on Instagram, and he started doing this stuff, like really easy editing. It's so awesome, and it's super easy that all I have to do, again, some intro and some just gluing two things on. I've already got some ideas of what to do on the outro, but with some music. Maybe we're talking 15-second clip here, which might be kind of the same bit, but like a 30-second at the beginning, 15-second at the end, and like just kind of Sean-inspired stuff. Whatever Sean thinks about Seeking Truth, I'm going to go ahead and invite Frank at the same time. Whatever Sean, and Luciano, and Tommy, and Ruby, Matthew, Kylie, Arturo, and Marcus at the same time. So what I'm looking for, and I need Frank for this, but what I say that. Ooh, Frank has a say too, of course. But Frank doesn't fucking care, man. Well, the whole idea behind this is to have all those raw videos like I have on YouTube. This is my idea. Of course, I have to propose this and run it by the Commissioner Mazzoliano. No, Commissioner Mazzoliano. That's much better. It's not Mazzoliano. He never. Oh, he says, you know what I love about your voice, Frank? It is soft. Like, even when you're not in agreement with me, it's like, can I say that? It is. It's like more like the angelic voice. You know how with like the boys' choirs, it's like the most sought after kind of alto, you know, for boys that can keep that up. Oh, Frank, you should start singing. No, okay, that's totally off topic. Frank, what do you think about that? Some music for the intro and the outro. It can be something more traditional. I think that would work because of Frank. I don't know. Frank, what do you think? More New Yorkie. What does dit mean? Sorry, my phone just binged at me. I don't think I've got to the point yet. So, music, intro music, so that I don't sing coming up. That was the first point. Actually, I turned the video on because I really wanted to say something else. Oh my gosh. Anyways, got into music. I think that's a decent point, but now it's kind of delayed the actual theme of this thing, which was cleanliness. I was thinking, like, just came into the house. I was going to do some work, like some work, just teleworking, as it were, working from home. Now I was thinking about, I talked to Frank about it yesterday. You know, things aren't so great at work, you know, having some conflicts with I think we're at, of 4 managers that I've talked to in the last little while, we got 2 we're in conflict with, like, the heat level is like up here. And the other 2, one, the heat level is here, and the other one doesn't really know what's going on, so we'll tell his heat level here, whatevs. So that's going on at work. And I haven't gone to Ottawa for a while because, this whole week. A little bit out of protest. called it in as a medical thing because of like a couple bad trips on the road. I was actually getting very anxious. I kind of realized it. I talked to a buddy. It's like, oh shit, this is exactly what the doctor was talking about. These like just waves of emotion. Oh my God, I just can't control them. And it comes so hard that I'll just be crying how much just, and it could be any emotion, but just like my whole body is shaking, and it could be just like, I was so disappointed, and I would cry with disappointment. And then I was angry, and I would cry with anger. And then I was, and then happy. And then just again, last night I just had to take a time off and go back to, as it were, seeking truth. And to have that break, that was incredible. Talking to Frank, like talking to an angel. I said that, his voice. But also how it really just, it's something like, Frank is really a good person, so something like osmosis, scientific thing, if you're close to something, something might transfer over. It's like that. Hang enough time around. And so that's like maybe a spiritual cleaning. Just, I don't know if I should have put it like that, but just kind of, it's good to be around Frank. But, and then coming home, it was like, I should talk to Frank just to see if he wants to help cleanse my spirit. But also, I get home and I wash my hands and my feet and thinking about actual like small C cleanliness, so or cleansing as it were. Whereas what I'm talking about with Frank is more of the big C, like just kind of, we're talking about, I don't know which way it's supposed to come out. Big C clean, and that's sort of, talking godly things, if you will. And then, small C clean is like cleaning your body. But I find that helps, sort of a habit of just cleaning, but reasonably so, and I like having my feet clean, my hands clean. And then it kind of washes off that sort of like, whatever I picked up outside. On that thought, that again, like what I got to that is like talking to Frank, getting clean, and then coming home. Whenever I have one of these kind of things, I just came from the office with a few kind of, I had to send off an email that was rather direct and just honest and just sort of like, here's how it's going to work today, and kind of like. Oh, what was this one? This one was Pride. So I gave him this. Anyways, not my proudest moment, but again, just asserting, I'm trying to get it like I'm asserting myself to say, look, I really desire this, and I think it's reasonable that I would work from the Montreal office rather than taking the road. That's the basic, that's the bottom part of it. They only let me work one day a week in Montreal, and I don't see why I can't do all the other week, because I have data access, I have every access I need, I've got cell phone to emails that I've given them, so anyways, kind of making a stand, as it were, assertively, but definitely try not to get aggressive, knowing that doing this doesn't cause some harm to them. I don't know. They'll get in a little bit of trouble for some of the things they said to me, but not in a bad way. They're not going to lose their job or something. I hope that it's more a lesson learning, but I know it's kind of aggressive, that I would push this way, knowing that if I don't, then I would get essentially punished. So pushing also. So I come back from the office just now like that, just kind of need that. So I say cleansing. Whereas physical cleansing, like a small C cleansing, I actually went through a period in university, so we're talking like 19 to 23 years old. Well, maybe, and it didn't start till maybe the second year. So 20 to 23 years old about. And it was in winter. I got a little bit of acne. It was weird because, I'm 20 years old. I didn't really have that in high school. I remember like, I was mocking a guy that had bad acne in high school, and my mom told me, be careful. And it was like, it happened to me in university, and only in winter. And so I actually have some acne scars. You have to get kind of close to see them. Where are they? I know. There's some around. It's like, it's so faded, but it was so bad at the time, like here. A little bit on the chin too. It's faded, but it was very, very prominent. Wow, I don't even know if that comes off in the video. I'll just do this, see if I can. I'll look at it afterwards in the video. Oftentimes, like, again, I know how it was. It was years of just really bad acne. How I reacted was washing obsessively myself, like taking many, many showers a day, and just like perhaps another 10 times hitting my face, which obviously made the thing worse. In summertime, however, it went away. By June, I would have no acne at all. I took medication for that. Saw a dermatologist, tried cream, but obviously the obsessive washing was the problem. Or not obviously, it seems obvious to me now that it was obsessively washing myself, that's probably very much irritating my pores. You know, I'm just jamming everything in, and I'm just like, every time I see a sink, just... Well, at the same time, I would have like just terrible problems with foot fungus, almost all the time. Almost all the time. And it was just like stinky, and I'm always in the Tinactin and all these kind of things. That's the foot fungus cream, and it works. And then other kind of things that are a little bit stronger, you know, because I'm okay. Foot fungus. I had a little bit of foot fungus before. I definitely, yeah, in high school, and even I would have foot fungus. So I was taking I even got to the doctor and taking special creams to try and hit that hard, but not really taking care of cleanliness in my feet. So that was the problem. Whereas, you know, later on I found that, you know, if I clean my feet a few times a day, then that prevents entirely foot fungus. But now it comes to that where it's like, again, just that sort of meditative getting clean in the big C sense, that helps me. So I come in from work and just feeling dirty. And again, dealing with these past couple of weeks, some of this anxiety issues. Gosh, it's not bad to talk about. Oh, I'm going to have to start putting a Kleenex box right next to this. This is the snowman. Do you remember the snowman? Here's the snowman. Sorry, snowman. I'll wash this afterwards. I'm going to take this. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, so coming in. Feeling dirty and just... And then kind of coming back and just letting it, just washing it off. And even talking like this, it really helps. And I got to look back on it, and it's going to help me to know that I'm coming from and I really have. That was one. I don't know if I said that before. I actually have 3 disorders: seizure disorder, anxiety disorder, and bipolar disorder. Oh, and ADHD. That's also the D is a disorder. It's really a hyperactivity disorder. So that's 4. I don't know why I said 3. So knowing that about myself, and knowing that that's where I came from, that those, at least medically identified, and it's nice to kind of categorize those things, and being able to identify that as we did with Sean in group, to see exactly what our demons are. Big D demons, like things that are like, no, sorry. Actually, we got that better with Frank. Excuse me. Where what these things are, essentially what a disorder is to me after talking with Frank, is things that in your mind, our weaknesses basically, where we're standing so close to the edge, like a precipice. So like anxiety disorders, that I'm ready to be just hyper emotional. Like I'm right there. I'm right there. Oh, I'm right there at the edge with my anxiety disorder, and I'm not that great at riding a bike. I'm going to use the Bible. And I'm not that great at riding a bike. So here I am in my anxiety. This is just the anxiety guy. Look at him. He's kind of red. He's short. He's a short Lego guy. This is so cool. Like they started making children, and it's just the coolest thing. Look, he's a tiny little guy. There's got to be another Lego guy here I can show you a comparison, but he's a little guy. That's me. I'm not too good at riding a bike. I'm not too good at riding the anxiety. So things can set me off, and then I can't seem to bring it back to rational. Like my mind is just... So what it is, in the way that Frank and I were talking about, here's me, the anxious part of me, the anxious disorder, this is him, personified. And then what the demon does, the demons know, just give you a little gust of wind almost, right? A whisper. And then that's what Frank was describing it as. The demon just helped just helps you a little bit go this way. Whoa! And then you're anxious and just it goes to terribleness. And I say terrible things. And so that's, again, the little push that leads me to do more evil things, more dog shit kind of things. But I choose the dog shit things. All he did was just do this. And now I'm really anxious and it's dog shit, dog shit, dog shit, dog shit. Like yelling, accusing, not listening. And God, the angels, I don't know. The angels are trying to push you, or the Holy Spirit, as it were, trying to kind of push you this way. Just get you a little bit back in here, Resist yourself a little bit against the devil. You can't go over here. You're not the guy that drives over here in the anxious spectrum. You're the guy that's on the precipice. Anxiety, bipolar 2. I have to watch that when I get depressed. It goes like this, almost not annually, but like it was almost annual, with the acne. Oh, sorry. Now this is the bipolar guy. So we would get summer and I just fucking energy. I'm like I'm cold-blooded in that there's heat in the energy. Oh, I was so cold-blooded, right? It's like before I was saved. That's kind of funny. That's not funny at all. So because I didn't have acne, everyone loves me. Look at how awesome I am. I'm just beautiful, beautiful specimen, right? And then cold weather would come and I'd start to get acne and I would stay inside and wash myself. And wash myself and wash myself. And I would try and go out, but my face was physically ugly and I was really skinny. So whereas before, I'm skinny, but my face is physically pretty. And so my face is physically ugly and I have very few friends in the winter times. And yeah, I would have problems reaching out, but people weren't reaching out. And in the summertime, people want to hang out with me, right? Girls want to hang out with a nice hot guy that's kind of sporty. And in the winter, I'm not so popular again. And it was like 3 winter, it was like, say, 20 to 23. And then I moved to Montreal, and it didn't happen again. Even though I was still washing, like the humidity of the air in Montreal or whatever it wasn't so dry as Alberta on the prairies. My skin cleared up in it. I've had like 3 zits since coming to Montreal. I love Montreal. So I'm just beautiful all the time, I guess. I hate beauty. Oh gosh, this is it. So the bipolar little guy. And then the anxiety little guy again. Well, we talked about anxiety. And then ADHD, he's just like hyper. And that maybe I can't slow down and just spend some time doing homework with the kids. So that's the hyperactivity one. And just the seizure disorder, that's just like I said, that's just a medication you take so you don't have seizures. I guess the devil could push you over, but the doctor's got a pretty strong stick. So I've never had a seizure since taking the seizure medication. Anyways, so all that to say, I'm in a very anxious state right now. So I do this so that I can remember it later, to know where I came from, to know that this was much worse. I was on the precipice of all these things all the time, little seizures, super big seizures, anxiety, bipolar would just mess up relationships, and hyperactivity too. It just they all kind of come as a lump too. Not that I would have more seizures in a hyper state. That didn't seem to track. That was just that happened regardless. Though perhaps set on a little bit by stress. But it wasn't in a hyperactive or a low active state. I was not correlated. So that's it. Getting clean, spiritually, physically. My hands are clean, my feet are clean. And we'll talk to you later, Frank. Signing off for now.